Hi everybody, how are you guys all doing? I hope that you guys are all doing well. This is TracEy from Highlands Giving Garden here to report in on the 2-month update on the tomato grove. Please excuse my voice as I have a really bad chest cold and a sore throat. I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, but I just wanted to come on here because it's been a little over 2 months now since I planted all of these tomatoes, and so I wanted to give you guys all an update so then you can see how everything is going and which method is actually working and which method is not. So I'm starting in the back and then I will move myself to the front of the garden. So of course we have a lot of mint. That's not part of the experiment because mint is just going crazy, and obviously the gophers do not like mint because that plant is still there and that's directly in the ground. These grow bags right here are not working very well. I am not happy with these grow bags. In fact, what I'm going to end up doing is removing these grow bags and just putting the tomato that's in this bag. It's either going to go into the ground, or I'm just going to totally replace the plant and put a different tomato plant in there. I do not like these bags. I don't know what the purpose of these bags are because they do not grow well in them. I think because the soil doesn't get any air, and because each one of these bags are also lined with a plastic, just not good. So if you see, I wish I knew what brand this was. I don't know what brand it was. I don't remember if there was a label on it. But if you see something like this, not a good bag to put your tomatoes in. I'm going to go ahead and skip a row because of these. I'll be covering the smart pots here in just one moment. But we also have the buckets. So this is going to be our first lineup here. This one here is the Mr. Stripey. It looks like it's doing well. It could be doing a lot better. But it's green and it's growing, but not really what I'll be showing you here in just a few minutes. Then we also have acorn squash. So we have a little bitty acorn squash here. Again, this is not, it doesn't seem to be doing as well as the ones that I'm going to be showing you here in just a few. We have the pink brandywine, not doing very well, not looking pretty. There's this one back there, but that's in a smart pot, and I'll be showing you the other smart pots here in a moment. So it just looks like all of the plants that are planted in these containers here, they're not, they're green, but they're not really thriving. So this method so far is a no-go for when I plant tomatoes or anything else in the future. It just does not look, these plants just look really deprived, actually. Then we have some acorn squash right here too. These ones are in baskets in the ground, so you can see the difference between the ones that are here in the ground compared to the ones that are in the containers. Not really doing, these ones are doing much better compared to these ones right here. And then of course that grow bag that I'm not really happy with, these are the Husky Cherry Reds. And so yeah, look at how it just is awful. It really is awful the way that these plants are growing inside of these bags. Okay, so these are the containers right here. These ones are what trees, our trees came in, and so I wanted to see if the containers would work for what we do out here. Not too happy with the results. So now we're gonna go ahead and move to the smart pots. So as you can see, the smart pots are doing much better than the containers right behind. So this one here is the Husky Cherry Red. Now just to let you guys know, we did do a harvest yesterday and we were able to pick a few of the cherry tomatoes from these plants. Looks like we missed one right in there. But So we did a harvest, so you will not see any tomatoes on any of these plants. The only ones that we did harvest from were the Husky Cherry Reds, which are these ones right here. Then we have basil. The basil looks like it's growing and it's doing well. I put some fertilizer on these, just so that you know. I'll show you the bag that I used to fertilize with. We also put some compost tea on all of these plants as well, in case you were wondering if we added anything to the plants. So we have some basil, and then this one here, much better. I mean, look at the difference. This is the pink brandywine. So look at this one compare to that one right back there. A world of difference. I haven't watered these yet, but the soil is pretty wet underneath, as you can see. It's just I haven't watered anything today, but so it may look a little dry, so that's not the issue of it being dry. But that's the pink brandywine. Looks much better than the one back there. We have more basil. And look at this one, you guys. This is the Mr. Stripey. This one looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks really great. So the Mr. Stripeys definitely love the smart pots. But then, you know, I mean, in comparison to this one, the smart pot again is doing much better than the ones in the buckets. So overall, between the two of these, smart pots are the way to go as far as choice goes. Now let me go ahead and move over here to this one. So now take a look at this one. These ones are in the tires. So in the tire we have lined a rubbish bag inside the lining of the tire, and there's a hole cut on the bottom of the bag, so then the root system can actually grow down and into the soil itself. And each one of these tires is lined with a wire mesh to keep the gophers out. So as you can see, in comparison from this one here, the Husky excuse me, the Husky Cherry Reds, this one is growing much better than the other two. So in this case, this one here growing in a tire is the way to go for this variety. Then we have some what is this one? The butternut squash. So it looks like it's doing really well in that container there. And then again, look at this one, you guys. This one is the brandywine. Is that the, oh gosh, the brandywine. I am so sorry, you guys. Okay, so the brandywine, as you can see, much better again in the tire compared to the other two. So it definitely likes the environment in this in the tire, you guys. It really likes it. Then we have some more butternut. As you can see here, you have the little pebbles from the fertilizer that I used. I put the fertilizer on yesterday, so just to let you know when I put that in. Here's the Mr. Stripey. So much bigger in comparison to even the smart pots. So look at that. So much bigger. It's gorgeous. I mean, it looks really great. Okay, so now let's go back over here, and the ones I'm going to be showing you now are the plants that are planted in a basket directly in ground. Check that one out, you guys. That is so much better in comparison, again, to the three others. So this, you guys, this is the way to go for us over here, is to go directly in the ground. I mean, I knew that. I seriously knew it, but I just wanted to experiment and see which method works, because I've seen so many different ways that people garden. And so I wanted to try it out here. I'm kind of out of breath, you guys. Oh my goodness. But I just wanted to try it. So then when people come here and they ask me, or they tell me this is the way that I garden, I can give them the facts of how it works here at our garden. That way I am, you know, knowledgeable, and I know what I'm talking about when it comes to gardening out here where we are. But these ones here are the cherry tomatoes, and so this one is much, much better looking than the other ones. Okay, and then we're gonna go ahead, this one here is the butternut squash. Get the fertilizer off there. Then we have this one here. This one is the brandywine. And you can see how it's just growing like all over the pathway here because it's just grown so much. I mean, guys, in just a matter of 2 months, look how much that has grown. Unbelievable. So this whole row that I'm going to be showing you is all caged directly in the ground. Then we have this one here. This one, yeah, I mean, it looks nice, and I mean, it looks good. But honestly, in this variety, the one in the tires looks the healthiest and it looks better than all of them so far put together. So I guess with this variety, that the tire is the best one. The other two, that one, I mean, this one is bigger than the tire. So I guess in this case, and so in this one, the brandywine and the cherry tomato, these two are the best in the ground, and this one so far in tire. Okay, so now let me go ahead and move back here. We have some rosemary. We just planted some sweet potatoes. I think these are purple sweet potatoes, I think is what Christy told me. Okay, so now here are the results for this right here. This is directly in the ground with no cage, nothing. I wanted to see if the gophers would actually eat the plants that are in here. This one here is a new plant. This one did not make it. The gophers actually ate it, if it was the case. And we actually, because the gopher did eat it, we ended up putting it in a wire basket. It's a really small wire basket because that's all that we had at the time. But yeah, so we had to replace the tomato, this one, the Mr. Stripey, with a different one. But this isn't a Mr. Stripey. I don't know what variety that is. But anyway, so gopher got this one. We had to replace it. This one here, as you can see, this thing is not looking good. Actually, it looks like a gopher got to it. So now we only have one branch coming out from the soil. So that one really doesn't look too pretty either. But what is left, it looks like it's doing okay. So we'll have to watch that. That's the butternut squash. Then we have this one, the pink brandywine again. Look at this, you guys. Look how split that is. It looks awful. A gopher tried to get to it. It looks like it took like branches off here. So that one's cut. This one down here is bit off. Looks like they tore a branch off here. They tore a branch off here. So this thing is more than likely not gonna make it. But I'm just gonna keep it there and hope for the best, and hopefully something will come of it. I really don't know what to expect really from what's left of it. More butternut squash here. This is probably the, I would say one of the healthiest ones. There's this one, and then there's also that one right here. Those ones look pretty healthy. And then this one, again, directly in the ground, and it looks great. Nothing wrong with it so far, knock on wood. Looks really, really great. And again, this is the Husky Cherry Red. And we harvested about 6 or 7 tomatoes off of this one yesterday. So this one is the healthiest out of all of the containers. So let's go over this again. We have the Husky Cherry Red. This one is the best looking one here. And the pink brandywine, the one that looks best out of all of this row, I would say this one here in the cage. The one in the tire looks pretty darn healthy too, but it's not as big as the one here in the cage directly in the ground. And then looking at these ones here all the way back, these are the Mr. Stripey's, so I'm going to go ahead and go from this point. So with the Mr. Stripey's, the one in the red tire looks the biggest and probably the, I wouldn't say the healthiest, because the three here look just as healthy, but as far as how big it is, the one in the tire. So anyways guys, that is the overview of what we have over here in the tomato grove. I hope that you guys enjoy this video. If you did, then please let me know by liking the video, leaving a comment, and if you're new to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, then please don't forget to subscribe and like our pages. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll try to report in again next month for another update.